Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Umkar Joshi. I'm a course instructor for computational thinking, and we will be conducting this particular session, which is specifically directed towards one concept called recursion. As in one of the previous lectures, in one of the previous sessions, I mentioned that I will be conducting this session dedicatedly for this particular topic, because I believe many of you might have faced some issues in it, and even not issues. In general, the concept is bit tedious to digest. All right, so let me begin with some slides, and then we'll move to Q&As. Okay. So let me hear it out. I have prepared one very small, straightforward example, and I want to explain that to you using some demonstration. And once that's done, we'll go towards our regular way. That's you ask questions by raising your hand, and I will try to address all your doubts. All right. So let me start the presentation. So it's very basic slide. You might see some of these things in that week 12 also, but the explanation is being live is a different thing over here. So what's recursion? So just in a straightforward manner, just the key points. Recursion is a process in which a procedure calls itself, right? We can call a procedure, we can call any procedure. That's something we have studied in week 3, week 4, and there onwards. But this is a different or a special type of procedure where the procedure itself is calling that the same procedure. Okay, the one procedure can always call second procedure, but with recursion, that first procedure itself is calling that same procedure. That's recursion. Okay, all the problems cannot be solved using recursion. So just remember this, that it's not like every time you can drop the idea of loops and get away with recursion. That's not the case. Recursion works only in few specific cases, only in few specific examples. What are those? That's the next point. Only those problems which have a base condition can be solved using recursion. So as this, you might have heard this term base condition many times in the lectures when professor talked about recursion. So what the base condition is, as in there has to be some natural stopping condition for whatever process you are doing. If that natural stopping condition is there, that condition becomes the base condition. And if it exists, then only that particular code can be written using recursion. All right. And in general, the recursion simplifies the pseudocode. How? That we'll see now. Okay. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Anybody can
Very much audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, all right, fine, great.
You are audible.
So let me continue. This is a one straightforward procedure to compute a factorial of a given number. This is not a recursive procedure. As you see, you will not see any, this is a procedure, right? Procedure name itself factorial. I'm not calling this particular factorial position anywhere in the body of this procedure. I believe, I hope you know what the body of a procedure is. This is the place where procedure starts. This is the place where procedure ends. Whatever you write inside this, it's considered as a body of the procedure or the definition of the procedure. So within this definition or within this body of a procedure, I'm not calling this procedure. And that's why it's not a recursive procedure. Okay. So maybe, okay, let me add one. Okay. Let me add one note over here, which says, let's say, please guys, keep yourself on mute. Don't disturb others. Yeah, thanks. So let's say I'm calling this particular procedure factorial with, let's say, 5. Cannot be reduced further, but anyways, fine. So consider this particular pseudocode. There is just one line over here which says result is a one variable is equal to factorial of 5. So this factorial of 5, you will call this particular procedure, and as written over here, 5 is the value which I am passing to this n. So your n becomes 5, right? Correct. And then
Yes,
your factorial, another variable is initialized to 1. While n is greater than 0, you just keep doing whatever these two steps are, right? So n is greater than 0. Now, as I said, n is 5, right? So you simply do this fact is right now 1 as written over here. So it's 1 into 5. Now the updated value of fact variable is 5, right? Then you did n equal to n minus 1. You simply decremented the value. So now n became 4, right?
What?
N became 4 now, but still 4 is greater than 0. So you do what? Fact into 4. What was the old value of fact? The recent updated value is 5. So it becomes 5 into 4. Same thing will continue. 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. And then it becomes 0. And then 0 is not greater than 0. That's the place this for loop gets terminated. It completes its execution. And you return the value. What value will return? That same sequence which I mentioned, 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, which is nothing but 120, right?
Yes, sir.
And this value will get returned back where? Here. Because this is the place where this particular procedures were called. So this fact will hold 120 and this will go back here to this variable result. So at the end of this, at the end of the execution of this pseudocode, what will be the value of result? That's the usual question we ask, right? Or what it will represent. Either we ask the actual value or we ask what it will represent. So what will be the value of result at the end of execution of this pseudocode?
120.
120.
What it will represent? It will represent the factorial of
Five.
the number given over here. In this case, 5. Or you can, if it's maybe some generic thing, you can say it will represent the factorial of z, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that part clear? Still, we have not touched recursion.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The reason behind me talking about the procedures again is I wanted to focus more on this part. Whenever procedure returns something, where it goes back, right? When you call a procedure, you start with the procedure definition, goes line by line by line till the end. That's true. Everyone knows that. But there might be some confusion that when we say return fact, return as in you are returning something back, right? So back as in where? So back as in the place from where the procedure was called. So this value gets returned back over here and gets stored in the variable result. I hope this part is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So if that part is clear, let me translate this or convert this same code into its equivalent code with recursion. Okay. So that same code now with recursion.
Hello,
Now,
sir. I
yes.
have a doubt.
Yeah.
Where is the relation between fact and factorial?
What's the relation between fact and factorial?
Yes.
Okay, the fact is a variable, right? Which will hold the value of factorial of n. What relation are you talking? I did not get it.
Just like
When-
integer integer name as in short int. It is similar like that.
Yeah, so this factorial is a procedure. FACT, the fact is a variable. There is no relation between this factorial and this.
Sir,
Just a variable inside this procedure. I can call it, maybe let's call it ABC.
So the
That helps,
procedure
we can
name is
use that.
factorial and the answer holding variable is fact. Am I right?
Correct. Factorial is a procedure and the answer which is getting hold is in this variable called fact.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Shall
Yeah,
we
all right.
continue?
Yes, yes. Thanks.
Okay. So as I was talking about this particular, a different version of this procedure where I have simply translated this code from the left side to the right side version, which is the same thing. In fact, nothing else is happening. Only thing is, instead of this while loop, I have converted it to a single statement entity. So in this case, as earlier in previous slide, I talked about, if you remember, right, this part, something called as base condition. Now, what is base condition in factorial? You keep computing
n equals to 0
until, yes, and not 0. I mean, yeah, you can say until n is equal to 0, or maybe you can improve it and write it n is equal to 1 also. That's up to you. But unless and until it becomes 0, you keep doing this. Now, what this is? Same thing. What we were doing? We were multiplying fact variable with n and reducing the value of it. Multiplication and decrement by 1. We are doing same thing. This is that multiplication and this is the place where that decrement is happening. So now how to actually read this code? Okay. Over here, when we say that we are trying to calculate factorial of 5. What is factorial of 5? 5 into factorial of 4. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So what does, if you generalize it, what is factorial of n? Factorial of n is equal to n into factorial of n minus 1. Correct?
Yes. Yes.
Same thing I have just written here. It's n into factorial of n minus 1. Next time your n becomes n minus 1. And then you again do minus 1. So it is practically n minus 1 multiplied by factorial of n minus 2. Right?
Yes,
We will
sir.
see that through some example. But this is the translation. And it was possible only because a base condition was there. All right.
Sir, what
Yes,
is
sir.
Yes, sir.
return bracket
Sorry?
1? Sir, what
Can
is the
you-
meaning of return in bracket 1?
Okay, return one as in just value one. One is the integer value, right? I want to return just one, nothing else. We always return some variable or we return true, we return false, right?
So it is true, false like.
No, it's not true, false.
No,
It's an
it's like
integer
zero
value, which is
factor.
one.
In factorial, the last
In
multiplication value is 1.
Correct. What is the factorial of 0?
0, 1.
1.
1, right? So that's what. That's why I'm returning 1 when n is equal to 0. For example, as I did earlier, right? Let me call that same thing again here. Result is equal to factorial of, let's say, 0.
0.
Now tell me what happens.
It returns 1.
So you come here, you now n becomes 0. Your n is equal to 0. You return 1. And due to that, the value of this particular variable result becomes 1.
Otherwise, else return n factorial and into factorial n minus 1.
Correct. That example I will do. I mean, I'm going to next thing. That's the thing I'm going to explain. I
Sir,
believe.
I have a doubt.
Forget
Yeah.
about this else part. I hope you understood if part, right?
Yes.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir, in this. Sir,
Yeah,
for
yeah, sir.
5 factorial, we were doing the else return n into factorial n minus 1.
Hmm.
As long as the n value turns equal to 0,
Hmm.
we return 1. But at that moment of time, we need the answer of n factorial. So how
Correct.
come we get that n factorial? Because we are
Yes.
returning the integer 0, 1, sorry.
Correct. I know that's the part which I'm going to explain now. Okay.
Okay,
In
sir,
next 2 to 3 minutes, that's the part I'm going to address. Okay. So let me start with that. So this is the pseudocode, the same pseudocode which was there. I've just taken it here. And now let's assume n is equal to 5. Okay. So all those places where you say n, let's replace that n with 5. Okay. Let's do that. So far, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
The same pseudocode, I have simply replaced n by 5. Now what happens? You started execution. Is 5 equal to 0? No. So your if will not execute. You come into else part. In else, you said 5 into some entity. 5 into factorial of n minus 1. Now, in order to get the result of this multiplication, what you need, it's a simple multiplication, right? Multiplication operation will work when you have both the operands. One operand is there, which is 5. You know that. You don't know what is the second operand, because second operand is another procedure call. What it says, factorial of 5 minus 1. So what it will do? It will call this same procedure again, but this time the parameter which is passed, right now it is 5. Next time it will be 5 minus 1. So this will generate another procedure call like this. Right now the same procedure, but now parameter changed from 5 to 4, because we said something like this. Because of this highlighted thing, this thing got generated. Now this is generated over there, right? It's generated. So what you did, same procedure. Now you have 4. You will check again 4. This block will not execute. You come into else part. Again, in order to get this multiplication, what you need? You need
3.
answer of factorial of 4 minus 1. And now because of this, it will generate one more procedure call, this time with parameter 3. Same procedure continues. 3 is not equal to 0. And now you need answer of factorial of 3 minus 1. All right. Then let's do that also. So now we went ahead. Now we called it 2 as a value. Now, in order to do this, this is now what? I am trying to find factorial of 2. How to get factorial of 2? It's 2 into factorial of 1. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
for
sir.
that, now I generated one more procedure call. 1 into factorial of 1 minus 1. Now the parameter is 1. Now again, 0. So you came into else part. I said 1 into factorial of 1 minus 1. And this is the point.
where our final procedure call will get generated. Now this will say, because of this factorial of 1 minus 1, we got 0 over here. As I was explaining in the previous slide, that the base condition will be activated now. Now, because of this if 0 is equal to 0, it's true, you return 1. Now this else part is ignored. All these previous cases, right, these blue colored cases, else part was getting executed. This is the only place where red part will get executed, and it will return 1, right? So whoever asked that doubt earlier, sorry, I forgot your name, something from S, who was
Sir,
that?
myself, Nupur, I had asked another doubt.
Okay, yeah, Nupur, I'm coming to your doubt
Sir,
also.
ask this. What happens when 0 is equal to 0 and return
Yeah,
1?
Samruddha. So till here, is it fine?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So Nupur, do you have doubt at this point, or shall I continue?
Sir, I have doubt. So when you have written if 0 is equal to 0, return 1. So 1 will be returned.
Correct.
Else return
Yes.
0 into factorial minus 1. 0 minus 1 minus 1.
Correct.
Factorial minus
Correct.
1 is nothing. So it will not return anything. Okay.
No, it will not even execute this part, right? Because 0 is equal to 0. If will get executed, else you don't have to worry about. I can write whatever I want in else because I know it's not going to get executed. Are you understanding?
Yes.
When this condition is true, you simply return and your procedure terminates. This part will never execute, because when if condition is true, you should not be bothered about what is there in else, right? That's how if else work.
All right.
So now, when 0 is equal to 0 and return once, then all the previous, that is 5, 4.
No, that is coming. That's where I'm coming.
Okay.
Forget about. I mean, what happens after returning 1? That part I'm coming, Samrita. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So far, this, I mean, we started from this and we have reached till this point. So far, is there any confusion?
I have a
No, sir.
question.
No, sir.
Yeah, Divya?
Sir, ultimately we are doing this procedure until we get a 0, right?
Yes, correct.
Sir, I have a question. Is
Yes.
this usually the case that in recursive procedure that the first if would usually hold the base condition?
Yes, absolutely. It has to be. Otherwise, it will be an infinite thing.
Okay.
You call the procedure, it calls again, and again. It will become a never-ending thing, right?
Yeah. So we write the base condition in the first if only.
Yes, the first thing you should write in a recursive procedure is a base condition. If you switch this, right, if you write this one first and your base condition in the else part, your program will never terminate.
Okay.
Okay, it has to be. Yeah, so base condition comes first all the time. Okay, yeah. Rahul.
Sir,
Rahul Aditya.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, I actually have a very small doubt in one of the assignment questions, sir.
No, that will come later. Right now, this session is only for recursion. First, I will address everything related to recursion. Then we'll move to other questions or even questions related to recursion. Let me finish this explanation. Then we'll address your doubt.
Okay, sir.
So, Papuri Sharma or Sarma, do you have any doubt related to this or something else?
Actually, sir, I have a doubt in DFS and BFS. So
that will come later. Okay.
So did you take any revision session for that, or will you take any revision session?
There are revision sessions in coming week. Monday and Tuesday there are 2 revision sessions, and one more session is there on Thursday. So next week we have 3 sessions. So those revision sessions are already there. Please check the calendar.
Okay. One more thing, sir. Today I received a mail saying that the interim exam will be conducted from week 1 to week 9. 10
Yes,
and 11 won't be included. So
yes, that's correct.
So only we have to study week 1 to week 9, right?
Yes, correct.
So encapsulation and RPC we don't have to study,
no,
right?
you don't have to. You don't have to. Guys, hold on. I'm going to lower everyone's hand. If raise your hands only if the question is related to what we are talking right now. For any question outside this, we'll discuss separately after finishing this. Okay, please not disrupt the flow of this explanation. Anyone has a doubt related to this particular slide? Please
Sir,
raise
No,
your hand.
sir. Please go ahead.
previous slide, sir. Previous slide.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. In this recursive function,
Mhm.
in the else part, you have given return 1 into factorial of 0 minus 1. After that, if you have plus 1 or minus 1, in the assignment, we had some questions like that. So how will that work?
Okay, regarding any different question will come. You, as you said, na assignment, the questions are there. We'll discuss those questions. That specific question we'll discuss.
In the same recursive function only, after
Ah.
you factorial, no, next to that, if you have plus 1 or minus 1.
Over here.
Yeah.
Okay, but in this case, as I said, this will condition holds true, right? Then why you're bothered about this part? It will never execute.
Else part will doesn't matter.
This part doesn't matter. You write whatever garbage code you want right now. You write here. It will not matter.
Okay, in that.
See, this condition holds true. You just go back. You return 1. End of this procedure.
Okay, then the code will be the same for factorial of 1, right? 1 into factorial of 1 minus 1 plus 2, for example.
This is the code for factorial of 1. I passed parameter 1. Sorry. Yeah, I passed parameter 1, and this is the code for same factorial of 1. This is the code for factorial of 2, and so on for 3, 4, and 5. See, guys, listen. Let me finish this, and then if you are still have a doubt related to some other question, I am more than happy to explain how recursion works in that question. Let's not get hypothetical things into this particular code. Okay.
Okay.
So Sushil, do you have any doubt related to this particular slide?
Yes, sir. Actually, just I want to know that can we
Yeah.
can we restrict that if portion like 0 is equal 0, that Boolean function 1 is equal 1 and return 1.
Yes, you can. As I said, right, it depends on how you implement it. You can even say 1 is equal to 1 and you return 1. So in that case, the original code itself should change to 1. That also fine, nothing wrong in it. Only point in that case, the problem is, what if my input is 0?
Okay.
Your procedure will not return anything, right? It will fail.
Okay.
Sir, as you
That's the
say,
reason it's better to have it 0. Understood?
Understood, sir. Understood.
All right. Yes,
Sir,
Bhavna. Hey, hold on. If you have a doubt, please raise your hand and wait for your turn. Yes, Bhavna.
So this pseudocode n is equal to 0 is the base case.
Sorry. Yeah, if a 0 is equal to 0, I did not
Sir,
get what
n
you
is
said after
equal
that.
to 0
Yeah.
is a base case. So what is base case?
Base case is the condition where our procedure should stop. Now what we did, we kept doing this factorial. We called factorial of 5 minus 1, then called factorial 4 minus 1, then we called it with 3 minus 1. At some point we have to stop this. When we'll stop? When n becomes 0. That's when we should stop, right? What is factorial of 5? I mean, if I ask you to compute it using pen and paper, what you will do? 5 into 3 into 2 into 1.
5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1.
Why you stopped at 1?
1 then after goes to 0.
Yes, Bhavna. Why you stopped at 1? Why you did not again multiply it by 0, then minus 1, minus 2? Why you did not do that?
We could not do that. Okay, factorial.
Exactly. That's the thing. Exactly. That's the thing. So that's a base condition because you stopped at 1, right?
Okay.
Similar thing we are trying to replicate over here.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Lakshmi. Lakshmi, are you there? Okay,
Yes.
fine. So next is
Thank you, sir.
sorry.
No, my It's over. I asked you last.
Okay, fine, sure. Yes, Nipur. Nupur, what's your doubt?
Unmute नहीं हो रहा है, एक मिनट. 1
You
minute.
are you are on unmute. You are audible. Please go on.
The first screen which you showed, this one, factorial n, and then we are going n minus 1. Then again the if is repeating.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at the screenshot, and then I'll just see once more. So procedure factorial n, fact is equal to 1, while n is greater than 0. Fact is equal to fact into n. That is here fact is equal to fact into 0. N is equal to n minus 1. So no. Fact is equal to fact into 5, or fact is equal to fact into 0. Fact is equal to fact into 5. Then n is equal to 5 minus 1, 4.
Correct.
Then again it executes while loop.
Correct.
Then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But and every time it's storing the result in fact.
Correct.
But every time this fact, how do you know it's getting added, or how or it's getting accumulated?
It's getting accumulated, right? You're saying fact into fact, fact equal to fact into n. So whatever you compute gets stored in the same variable. You're just saying a is equal to a plus 1.
Okay, so it will be okay. First will be 1 into 5, then 1 into 5 into 4, then 1 into 5 into 4 into 3, 1 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2, 1 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into
What?
1.
I'm not understanding what you're talking about. It's 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. That's it. Only once. It's a single iteration. While loop executes 5 times. I mean, it executes n times. If n is 5, it executes 5 times.
Yeah, if it executes 5 times, how the result will be stored 5 times?
We don't want 5 time result. We just want one result. 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. That's the result we want. We don't want any other result.
Yes, that is the result.
Yes, that is the result.
And see, the second line, fact is equal to fact into n, that is only accumulating the numbers.
Okay, hold on. Nupur, let me continue with this. I will explain you again at the end of the session. Okay. Let's not keep others waiting.
Shall I try to explain it?
Guys, let's not disturb the flow. There are many people. I mean, 100+ people are waiting for this the explanation to continue.
Sir, please go ahead. Sir, please go ahead.
I'm going to continue the explanation. I will come back to these questions later. Okay. I will answer all your doubts, but just be a little bit more patient, because otherwise it will be very tricky. So I hope everyone is with me. This is the place where we are. 0 is equal to 0. So we are returning 1. Now the doubt is what happens next. Somebody was asking what happens to return 1. And that is why I was asking, you should remember when we say return, where it goes back. When I say return 1, where it should go back. It should go back to the place from where the procedure was called. From where this procedure was called, factorial of 0, it was called over here, right?
Yes, sir.
So this return 1 should go where? Here. This part is the most crucial one. You guys should understand that this particular factorial of 0, this was called from here. Because of this line, factorial of 1 minus 1, because of this highlighted thing, this thing got generated. And that is why this return 1 should again go back the place from where it was generated. So this should be replaced by 1. So let's do that. As you see, the entire procedure got collapsed. The return value was 1. So this particular thing will become now 1. Okay, same thing continues. Now what we are saying, return 1 into 1. Now we have both the operands to do this multiplication operation. Earlier, multiplication operation was not possible because we did not have this 1. Now we have this. So we can do 1 into 1. That is again 1. What we are saying, return 1. Where it should get written? The place from where this factorial of 1 was generated. Where is that place? This is the place. So this 1 into 1 is 1. So this 1 should go back over here. Let's do that. Now we can do this multiplication 2 into 1. Once again, this is the return 2 into 1. So this is 2, right? Return 2. Where we should return? Again, the place from where this thing was generated. Where is that place? Here. So now we should replace this with this multiplication, which is 2. Let's replace that. Now, same thing continues. 3 into 2 is 5. Where this 5 should return back? The place from where this was generated, which is here. So now we should change this with 5. No, so not 5. Sorry, by my bad. 3 into 2, we should replace this with 6. Right? So we should replace this with 6. Now 6 into 4. Again, this is 24. Where this 24 should go? The place from where this was generated, which is over here. Now, because of that, we reached to this point. And now finally we can say return 5 into 24, which will give us the actual answer, which is 120. I hope till here it's clear, and that's the end of the slides which I have for recursion. So now if you have any doubts related to this particular factorial example, please raise your hand. We'll answer those first, and then we'll move to some practice assignment or graded assignment questions, again starting with recursion. Then we'll move to other questions if we have time. So let me start with the same sequence. Yes, Deepak.
Sir, as you say that we should always put the base condition in if.
Correct.
But if I want to put it in else and I give if condition in that n is greater than 0, then it will return n into factorial of n minus 1.
Correct.
This is in if condition, and if else condition return 1. Will it execute rightly?
For this question, it will.
Yeah.
Okay, because as you said, if you write n is greater than 0 over here, then yeah, unless and until n is greater than 0, if will keep executing, and then otherwise it will go. For this factorial example, it works. There won't be a problem. But the standard practice or the convention of writing a code with recursion is to write the base condition first, so that anyone who reads the code, right, it becomes easier for that person to know where to stop.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because see, over here you have just one if and else block. What you have, maybe some 1,000 lines of code.
Yes.
Right? At that point, it becomes very tedious to go through whole thing just to understand where I'm supposed to stop. That's why it's a standard practice to write the base condition first in the procedure, if it's a recursive procedure. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Next is Karthikeya.
Sir, when n becomes 0, we started back.
Correct.
So now whenever we are, how the program is remembering something which is a process which is already suspended previously.
Correct.
To understand, I fail to understand how it is remembering the last step which was already suspended, and like it has to calculate for factorial 4, factorial 1 first. And, what I mean to say, a process which was already suspended in the previous iteration, right?
Correct.
How it is remembering and going back and substituting into the step in the previous iteration.
Correct. Correct. I understood your problem. Hold on. I'll explain you that with some example. Just give me a second. Okay. So before starting the explanation, there is something. I mean, I have explained this earlier in one of the solve with us session for week 9. where we were talking about DFS and something.
Yes,
like
sir.
that.
There was a hold,
Yeah.
termination, and ongoing.
Correct,
three-
correct. So that's the point where I've explained this, but let me just tell you, there is something called a stack, which is maintained by the operating system itself. And that operating system stacks, it's a data structure. Okay. Right now, if you're not understanding any of these terminologies, simply forget about it. All these will come in upcoming courses. It's slightly advanced than what we are talking. So that stack is responsible of maintaining all these records. Okay. So, but I'll just simply show you for your understanding, for your piece of your mind, that how it goes. Okay. Okay. Is it visible, this notepad?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what happens? This is the line which you have written n multiplied by factorial of n minus 1, right? Let's assume, as we just did, the n is 5. So what happens? Because I said n minus 1, this same thing, whatever was there, got copied. Right now, as I know this n is 5, I can replace this by 5. And now this also became factorial of 5 minus 1. Now, what it will do? It will again execute the same line. And that is the place where this particular line will get changed to 5 into 4 into 4 minus 1. Is that part clear, Narayanan? I'm sorry, Karthikeyan?
Could you repeat again, please?
Yeah. So originally what we written n into factorial of n minus 1, correct? That was there in our code.
It is there.
Correct? N into factorial of n minus 1. Are you finding it difficult to remember?
Yes, sir. I'm okay now. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. N into factorial of n minus 1. I'm talking about this particular line. Okay. So at that particular line, what happens? This is what you did. Now n is 5. So I simply replace that. 5 into factorial of 5 minus 1. Because of that, the same thing got executed again. Now what is factorial of 4? Is 4 into factorial of 4 minus 1? So
now I got
are you understanding this part?
Yes.
Now this will generate something like 4 into 3. Okay. 3, and now this becomes 3. The same thing will continue till we reach to that 0. So now this will do 2 into 2 minus 1. Again, this will become right. And now we know factorial of 1 minus 1 is what? Is factorial of 0 is, now we know that it is 0. Now we can get the result. Right. So internally, there is something called a stack, which will maintain all this information. That which one got first, then what is second, what is third, what is fourth, what is fifth, and so on.
Factorial
so that
of
is taken care by that is
1, sir.
Yeah, 1.
0.
Factorial of 1 is 0. Factorial of 0 is 1.
I mean, it will return 1. Sorry, my bad. It will return 1. The factorial of 0 will return 1. Yeah, this is correct. Okay. So this is something which computers stack or the operating system itself will take care of it. As a programmer, you don't have to worry about all that aspect, that how it will be remembered. It will be remembered. Okay.
I understood. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Ramakant.
Sir, is a small doubt, follow-up doubt. This I clearly understood, but only one thing that if the while loop can I replace with this recursion procedure, or there is specific occasion that I need to use the recursion and not the while loop.
Okay, so as I was explaining earlier, you can replace that while loop with recursive procedure if you have a strong base condition. Okay. It's not like every time you remove while loop and put some procedure call there. It may not work every time. It depends on what you are trying to do in that procedure.
Okay.
Okay, it depends on the application for which the procedure is written. That is the reason in one of the slide I mentioned. You cannot write you cannot, solve every problem using recursion. There is a limitation to recursion. Okay.
So, then when I am choosing to use recursion, so what are the important points I need to consider? Okay, this is.
Yeah, so important point which you are supposed to remember is there a base condition first? Okay, do you have a clear place where you're stopping this whatever activity you are doing? Okay, and second, whatever activity you did for first value of n, are you doing the same value for n minus 1 or n plus 1? Some variation of it, some smaller part of it, or maybe some larger part of it. Are you doing the same procedure again?
Okay.
Right? I mean, what was the procedure? I want to find factorial of 5. And the answer of factorial of 5 is factorial of 4 into 5. Correct?
Yes.
So the answer for my current question is in something else, which is again a sub question. Right?
Yes.
So if you have that kind of scenario, then recursion is the best practice or the best way to solve the problem. Right? What, as I was saying, what is the as I said, what is the factorial of 5? What is factorial of 5? 5 into factorial of 4. Correct?
Yes.
If I ask again, what is factorial of 4?
Again, I need to repeat the same process. Like
correct? Are you understanding? There is a natural
Yes.
repetitive process there. If that exists, then recursion is the best way to process it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Well, next person, Manan.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
So, in the pseudocode, which we were viewing in the temp period viewer.
Okay. Yeah. Let me switch to that. That's
okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me.
So we haven't switched to that particular. No. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Which slide you want?
Yes, sir. In this particular recursion, we compare a numerical value to another numerical value. So here you are comparing if 5 equals to 0 or if 3 equals to 0, 4 equals to 0.
Correct.
How it can be possible if we must be comparing some variable to constant?
No, it's not mandatory, Manan. We can compare integer with integer. In fact, when you say some variable, right, as we have seen earlier, right, let's say n is equal to 0, right? Ultimately, n is what? N is 5, right? So
yes,
in internally, computer compares what? Computer is not comparing n with 0. Computer is comparing value of n with 0, which is 5 in this case.
Okay.
Okay, so there is nothing wrong
every
in doing
time
this.
Factorial goes, it passes the new value to this procedure factorial, and so it initially it is 5, then it will be 4, and then if conditional block will be comparing 4 is equals to 0 or not, and then it will be passing value downs.
Correct.
Yes, sir. So in this procedure factorial equals 5, and then we end factorial is the only pseudocode we are using to compute a factorial of 5 now.
Yes, originally, I mean, this code is sufficient enough. You don't have to write anything else. This code is sufficient enough. Whatever n you pass, you will get factorial of that value. When you write this line, result equal to factor. I mean, it's set 0. Let me call it z. Whatever the value of z, you will get its factorial in the variable result. You don't have to write any other code. That's the beauty of it. That's what I was talking about, right?
Yes.
You don't have to write all that. Computer will take care of that because of this.
So in the previous a few minutes back, you talked about limitations of recursion.
Correct.
So can you just give a brief how much limited is recursion?
Okay. As I said, right? You have loops everywhere, correct?
Yes, sir.
But it's not like right now, as you see here on the screen, this while loop is converted. I mean, this particular while loop is converted into a recursive in a recursive procedure, correct?
Yes, sir.
The point is, it may not be possible every time.
So every loop cannot be converted to a recursion.
Correct. That is my point.
Okay, sir. So
Okay, but
what
every
is-
recursion can be converted to loop.
So what is the efficiency of loop? Efficiency of recursion. Sorry,
Okay.
efficiency of recursion. If
I don't think it's too early to talk about efficiency of an algorithm or efficiency. This is computational thinking, not analysis of algorithms course. That's in fact not even foundational. It's a diploma level course, slightly advanced
yes,
than
sir.
this. But
Yes,
I mean, as
if
you
we
have
just
asked,
get a idea of how much efficient, so
I will
if we
tell
get
you.
a question about comparing these two
No,
things.
don't worry. We will not ask that question in computational thinking, but yeah, I will answer your doubt. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So the thing is, first of all, just a disclaimer: it is out of scope of computational thinking. This whatever he is asking about complexity and the efficiency part. So the Manan thing is,
yes, sir.
these procedures, right? The procedures with recursion are always costly. Okay, I hope you understand the meaning of what
Yes, sir.
costly in
It
this.
comes in
It's not
space
related to money.
complexity and n square and n factorial times
It's
things.
not just about space. There are a lot of procedure calls. So there is something called as context switch. If you might have heard about the term called context switch. It happens
Okay.
a lot in operating system, and because of that, actually it slows down whatever we are doing. So many times we avoid recursion also just for that reason. But for some cases, it's very natural that the recursion is being implemented as the solution. So it's a call taken by that particular programmer whether to go with what's natural or go with efficiency.
Yes, sir. Because sometimes, as we know, recursions are costly. They are time consuming and consume
They're
a lot
always
of
costly, not sometimes.
computational power.
Recursion is always costly. Okay.
Yes, sir. And
Yeah.
still we are using it.
Yes, that's what I said. There is a fine balance we have to find. Sometimes we might prefer to compromise on that complexity part because it's easy to write the code, right? If something is
Yes, sir.
happening in any way, if it's happening in fraction of second, oh, we may not bothered about it. If because of this, if it's going into minutes or hours, then we might not do that. But if it is
Okay, sir.
happening in some reasonable time and we are okay with it, then it's easier to write the code with recursion, right?
Okay, sir.
So it's that programmer's call to decide between two. I mean, given a choice, which one is preferable, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. There's
yeah.
just one last thing. I actually want to talk about a certain thing which is not related to the course. So can you just wait for when you over this particular lecture?
Yeah, sure. We will do that. We'll do that.
Okay.
Just remind me in case if I forget. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Who's next? Kushi. Yes, go on.
Sir, I have a question here.
Yes, sir. Actually,
Yeah, Kushi.
yeah. So my doubt is that the pseudo code which is written on the left side will give the same result which the recursion will give.
Yes, absolutely. Because the both codes are equivalent.
So we can use this code also, this pseudo code also.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Then what is the need for
factorial of 5 is 120. No one can change that.
Yes, sir.
Correct. So both codes will give that same result. You can use this code.
Then so what is the need for recursion?
Yeah, that's what I was explaining earlier. Recursion is more natural way, right? I mean, whenever you do that using pen and paper, if I ask what is the factorial of n, what you will answer?
N multiply n minus 1 factorial.
Correct. That's the natural thing, right? What is again factorial of n minus 1?
So it will be n minus 1 and minus 2 factorial.
Correct. So that's something that's how we have studied this naturally in mathematics. And recursion is the exact translation of that mathematics into code.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
There is nothing wrong in this code. It's just another way to write the same, solve same problem with a different method.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So next is Nupur. Yeah. Okay. So Nupur, as I said, I will come back to you once I finish this. Okay. We will discuss this recursion in detail. So yes, Karthik.
Sir, here on the right code procedure, user mistakenly, if he passes a parameter which is negative, the value of n, say instead of 5, if he substitutes -5, he passes -5. Still, this code works, sir.
You tell me, what is factorial of -5 mathematically?
It does not exist, sir.
Exactly. So the code should not work, right? I mean, in this case, it will go into infinite loop, I agree. But right now, I'm not focusing on that part. I mean, ideally, you should put one more if here, which should say, you know, if, I mean, even before this, if there should be one more if, whether if n is, greater than -1 or greater than equal to 0. Right? I mean, see, that's not the purpose here. I'm not saying it will work in all those cases. Yeah, for negative value, it will go in infinite loop. I agree. So that one more if block is required for that.
Okay, right. That's what I want to ensure that.
Yeah, I mean, the purpose of writing the pseudocode was not that, right? Accuracy was not the point. Explaining factorial was my point. That's why I wanted to keep the code as small as possible.
Right, sir. I understood. I think you will you will write some exceptions while.
Yeah, actually, I mean, if you know what is exception, then you already know all this, right?
Okay, sir. Thanks. Okay.
Yeah, correct. Okay, fine. Okay, anybody else? Yeah, Nupur, you have your hand raised. Let's address your doubts. Yes, go on. Hello, Nupur, are you there? I'm not able to hear you.
And
hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Nupur.
Can
Now
you hear?
What?
Yeah, I will ask you at the end.
Okay, fine.
I
Then
will
please
ask
don't.
you at the end.
Okay, fine. Then please don't raise your hand. Otherwise, I feel that you have doubt right now in something which you're talking. All right. Anyways, that's fine.
I forget. That is why I have raised the hand.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yes. Now, let me stop this particular presentation. Now that's it. I mean, from my side, with respect to how recursion works. If you have any specific doubts related to recursion, let's address those first. If not, I don't mind addressing your other doubts from any weeks for that matter till the end of the time what we have. So if you have any questions related to recursion, please raise your hand. Let me give you the first priority. Yes, Anuj?
Sir, can we have any other examples except?
Any other examples except factorial?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Sapna.
Sir, for that, will you please take any of the questions in the PA or GA?
Yeah, that will do. I'm just giving you off my top of my head one very easy example for you. Who asked that? Anuj, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Anuj, one straightforward example which is very easy to write, right? Is adding all the values of adding all the values in a list. I have a list. It contains all integers. There are some n values are there. I want a sum of all those values.
Okay.
What we'll do? I mean, I'm not going to write pseudocode, but you try to imagine this. It is very close to the factorial code. That's why I want to focus on this example first. Then we'll go into slightly complicated examples from practice assignment and graded assignment.
Okay.
Can you see this notepad?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have this list L. It contains some values. Let me take them sequentially. Let's keep it small. Okay, this is my list. I want sum of all these values. I want 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. What is your base condition? The first thing you should think of. What is your base condition?
If L is empty.
Correct. Let's say procedure add. I am passing value L. Immediately after this, there should be end. What is end? What we call it? End add. Okay, inside this, what should be there? End. What is the base condition? When we should stop adding these values?
When L is
List is
empty.
empty, right? So that's the natural thing to stop, right? That becomes base condition. How to know that?
L is equal to 0. Length of list equal to 0.
Length of a list is equal to 0. If that is the case, what you're supposed to do?
Return 1.
Return
0.
Are you sure? Return
Return
1?
sum. Return sum.
0.
Zero.
Return 0. Right? When list is empty, your sum is 0 by default, right?
Yeah.
Then else? Else what? Again?
First of
Done?
return first of L.
Correct.
First of L.
Sorry. First of L
Plus
plus rest of.
Now, but
Sir, we are calling again the procedure.
yes, we have to call that procedure again. And now this time we should pass, instead of the entire list, now we should pass only this part of list.
Rest of L.
Rest.
Yeah.
Rest of L. That's the answer. Are you understanding? It's very
Yes,
close
sir.
to that factorial example, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Correct.
Instead of multiplying the elements, we are adding here, right, sir?
Correct. What if I change this code a little bit? Okay. Just look at this second procedure. Instead of this, I maybe do, let's say, last of L, and instead of this, I do init. Will it work?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Correct. So as you see, both these procedures are equivalent.
But in the
So if
opposite
some
direction.
question, yes, correct. But finally, you get your expected output. Correct.
Yes, sir. Yes,
The point why I'm saying is, in exam you might see some MSQs, right? Multiple select questions. I mean, I believe you all know by this time what is multiple select question is, right?
Yes.
And there is
Yes,
a
sir.
possibility that such codes might be there. So while reading your options, you should be careful. If it's a MSQ, of course, if it's a MCQ, you don't have to worry. But if it's a MSQ, you have to be very vigilant about this part. That there is a possibility of multiple implementations for same code, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I believe Anuj, your doubt is clear.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let me move to next person. Yes, Kushi.
Sir, actually, I have a
Kumari?
doubt.
Yeah.
I have a doubt in week 11.
Okay. I don't mind answering, but why you are interested in week 11 anymore? I mean, it's not there for in-term. Graded assignment is done. Now week 11 has no meaning whatsoever, right? I will answer it. I don't mind. I just curious
No, sir,
about this part.
actually, I was not able to understand the concept of buffet. So,
Okay. It's not buffet. It's called buffer.
yeah, buffer. Sorry.
Okay. Are you hungry?
No, sir.
Okay, so Kushi, let me address these concerns first. Maybe week 11 is something I don't think others are interested.
Yes, sir. Okay.
I'll
Actually,
answer that.
I just in this class only I came to know that only week till week 9 will come in the end. So that's why.
There is an announcement which was sent today morning. So I
Yes,
don't
sir.
think whether you saw that or not, but yeah, there is an announcement, and that is something I was talking about for last few days. That Thursday you will get some good news about it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so Kushal, I'll come to that. Okay,
Yes,
if
sir,
you're
no
still
problem.
interested in week 11, I'm more than happy to answer that.
No, sir.
Not
We
interested
can. We
anymore?
can. No. I'm interested, but if we will have time, then we can discuss it.
Yes.
And if we will not have time, then we can discuss it in another class also.
Yeah, or you can post it on forum. Maybe we can take it from there. That's
Okay,
also
sir.
fine. See, I hope you understand my reasoning, right? There
Yes,
are
sir,
120
yes, sir.
people, and I don't think everybody is interested in that. So
No, sir, I understand it.
yeah, okay. So let's just
Sir, are you
Rahul.
provide the
That was
solution of week 11?
that was surprise, sir.
Yeah, I know
As
that's
early as-
surprising. I'm happy that
Yeah.
students are interested in learning rather than marks. So I'm very happy with that. But yeah. So about the solutions are already there on portal. Please check. Week 10 and 11 solutions are there on portal for grade assignment.
Yes, sir, it's there.
Yes, Rahul.
Sir, actually, like it's not a doubt related to week 9, but once can you go to the week 9 practice assignment?
Yeah, sure.
In this third question, the bank account question, sir.
Okay. This is the one, right? Third, what is the return value?
No, I mean the above code.
Okay.
In that above code, we have a procedure called check balance, which has a parameter amount.
I am not sure which assignment are you talking about.
Practice assignment 10, sir.
Okay, 10. Once again, somebody is interested in week 10. Rahul, do you know that week 10 is not there for INTA?
Yeah, it is not related to week 10, sir, but
okay,
it is
okay.
just a...
Yeah, if it's week 10, right? Let me come back to that. Week 10 and 11, I will address slightly later. Is there anything related to week 9? If that, let me finish.
It's just an if-else statement, sir. It will take 1 minute.
Okay, fine. Let me close it immediately. Then.
Because it is related to other weeks also indirectly, so that's why.
Okay. If it's related to the logical part of the code, then I think others might also.
Yeah, here we have a procedure check balance, sir.
Correct.
Sir, why are we writing the if-else statement like this? If balance amount return false, else return true. Why are we not mentioning the else word here? In procedure check balance amount.
In procedure check balance.
It's
okay.
Starting
if this is your okay, if this is true, you're returning false. Otherwise, you're returning true, right?
Yeah, but for otherwise to return to else statement should be written, no, sir. Why are we not writing it anymore?
It's okay. Now you tell me what will happen if this okay when this false will get returned.
So if you have minimum balance which is less than which is greater than.
I mean, when this if condition is true.
Yeah.
When this if condition is true, you return false.
Yeah.
Right. And
yes.
When this if condition is not executing, what will happen? I mean, this if condition is false, you will come to this bracket.
Yes, sir.
And what is the next thing? You will return true.
Yeah, but if
there is nothing wrong into it. Okay, I agree. Even though you write else there, that is also correct.
Okay, but
okay, it is just case, like you avoided the number of lines, right?
Just way of programming.
Yeah,
but if condition is satisfied, sir, we will return false as well as true now here.
No. Yes, that is exactly what I was a bit worried of. That see what happens is if condition is satisfied, you say return false, right? Okay. As soon as the return statement gets executed, procedure terminates. It will not execute next line.
Yeah, this was.
So you will never reach to this line which says return true.
Thank you very much. That's it, sir.
Okay, so it's just way of writing code. This is all right, and the one which you are talking about, that is also absolutely
that is
right.
What got me.
Again, same thing. If it's there is a question with a MSQ, this is also right, and that is also right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Sir, after return false, that will jump to end check balance.
After return false, okay. After return false, it will jump to the place from where this particular line check balance procedure is called. There will be some place, right, where this check balance is called. Just see where that is called. If it's
procedure
not
withdraw,
okay.
procedure withdraw.
Okay, it's in withdraw, right? It's in okay. In withdraw, there is this check balance, right? So you call that procedure from here. So this true or false, whatever is applicable here, will come to over here inside this if.
Okay.
Okay, and then based on again whether it's true or false, you will decide whether to execute this or not. That's the flow. I mean, again, this is the same thing which we have studied before week 10. It's not changed just because it's some slightly
Sir,
advanced.
sir, I have one question.
Yeah,
Kamal sir, yeah. So in return statement, when it goes to the original one from where it started, then
correct.
Why it is written the end check balance? Why this last line is required? Even in the return statement, when it goes to the initial one, then why this end statement is written?
See, okay, that end statement never executes. I understand that. The point, okay, the reason behind writing this is, what if you have a procedure which doesn't have return statement?
But procedure should have return, because when we are like doing one procedure, then it should return something to the main.
Not necessary. Every time that's not mandatory. You can write a procedure which doesn't return anything. It is possible. You can. There is nothing wrong in it.
Okay.
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 I can say, okay, I want to find factorial of 5. I got 5 at the end. I'm just asking what is the value of fact variable. Not necessarily. I mean, it's a general practice. 99.99% of times procedure will return something. That is true, but it's not mandatory for procedures to return. And this statement, as you said, that end this indicates, it's the indication for someone to understand this is the end of the procedure. Right? Usually, I mean, in every place you might see, right, at the end of document people write the end, right?
Right, sir. Right, sir.
Why? Just the weight of indicating, okay, this is the end. Formally, I am saying
so
this is
it
the
is
end.
more like for our understanding, like
Absolutely.
one procedure step, like one procedure ends here.
Yeah, that's one factor, and also for computers understanding.
Okay. Okay.
Computer should also understand, right, where procedure starts, where it ends.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Right.
Right.
Computer is, say, when the computer starts scanning a code, whenever we see the opening bracket, it is always looking for closing bracket. Correct.
Right,
if it doesn't see that, there will be a problem. Similarly, when we say there is a procedure starts, computer is always looking for this word end with some name after that. It is always looking for that. Right.
Right, sir. Right.
So it's for both both sides, computer as well as us.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Yes, Shiva.
Quick question. The week 9, the content is still week 9 alone, right? Is that only for CT or is it for all the subjects?
Only for CT, the syllabus is from 1 to 9. For other courses, whatever they have announced, that remains as it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
That it?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Thanks. Okay. Any other doubt?
Hello.
Yes, Logeshwaran. Go on.
Yeah. You just meant you given the example for recursion. Can you go to that code?
Which code?
The list one just you added, right?
Okay. Yeah. The one which I just now wrote, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Is it visible?
No. Still, yeah, it's visible now. Here, that statement return lost L plus add int L.
Correct.
Yeah,
init
L. So if I do add init L plus lost L, is it execute same method or is it any different?
Are you saying instead of this, I will do this, right?
Right.
This is last of it. Yeah, this is correct. It's still addition, right?
Yeah.
So now, guys, you got third variation. So you can do same with this also. You got fourth variation for same code. All are correct.
Okay. If I do that first like that, you say I don't think anyway it will work. But anyway, that first L plus add int L plus lost L, is it work like that?
Okay. Sorry. Like what you want to do here?
If I do that first L.
Okay. First of L.
Yeah. And I'll do that. I'll call that recursion to taking the center point like rest and int kind of thing.
Okay. Add rest of init of L, and then you are saying you are adding here, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then if you do that, then your last element is getting lost. Then you will have to do this.
Yes. Yeah. Lost of L. Yeah.
That is also correct.
Okay, so if I do like this, so it'll in first moment I will get that first and last both, or how it will be?
You will get both. So
Okay.
the thing is how it works is, right, I mean, okay, let me tell you how it goes, right? The thing is, it depends on how the computer executes it. I mean, I don't want to go into detail, but you might have heard about something called compiler. Or there is some software which is there which process the code, okay, for any programming language, okay. So Logeshwaran,
Yeah,
you
yeah, got
there
it.
or you
Actually, some noises in my home, so that's why I'm muting it. You can
Okay,
please
okay,
continue.
okay. Fine. So the point is, every compiler or every that software which actually process the code has its own way of doing. Sometimes it is from left to right, or sometimes it is from right to left. Okay. Or
Okay,
some
yeah.
compilers are even more advanced that they can compute this, and keep this one on hold. That is also
Okay.
possible. So it depends on how the software is developed and how advanced it is.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
So in our procedure, we are considering it will be happen in one go. Like
Yes.
first
So
till last till, we'll go for recursion again.
say software might have limitations, but human brain doesn't. Okay. So
Yeah.
you get your first, you get last, and then you do this recursion. That's easiest way to do it, understanding wise.
Okay, because I think this same kind of question came in. I think in graded
GA
assignment also.
question
I
one.
confused.
Oh,
Yeah,
there is some graded assignment question on this.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm confused with that. So is it going to be first attempt itself or last attempt till last will get? That's why I have
Yeah.
some doubt
Okay.
here. Yeah.
Now is it clear?
Yeah. So this is that position that in first attempt itself it will take first and last, and it will go for recursion.
Correct. As I said,
Okay.
that's the best way to solve it. As I said,
Okay.
computer might have a slightly complicated way of doing it based on its capability, but if you are doing it manually as you are doing in all the questions in computational thinking, that's the best way to solve it.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. And any other question? Week 9. If not, then I'm going towards that week 11 and other weeks as well.
So can you explain the in graded assignment or this type of question like?
Can you mention some specific question? Then maybe I will give priority to that.
Sir, PSA is made by the matrix procedure.
Can you tell me question number? Where it is?
Graded assignment 9.
Okay. Question number?
So can you just scroll?
Do you remember the question number?
No, sir. Just down.
Okay.
Sir, last I think.
Is this the one DFS? Are you talking about DFS?
No, sir. So can you scroll down? Hello, sir.
Can I come back to you and find out which question you have?
This type of, sir, 10.
Yeah.
So DFS, APS, this type of.
Correct. This is depth search algorithm. The same algorithm which you have studied in the lecture.
Yeah, sir, but I'm confusing every time.
Okay, so for DFS, I have already explained this question in week 9 solve with a session. Entire depth first search algorithm using some 100 plus slides.
I'm also
So I
right.
think it's better if you watch that. It will. Sorry.
I also write it down in my copy also, but I'm confused.
Okay. So is there any specific place where you are confused? Maybe I can address that.
So again, I am trying. If it not, then I'm asking
Okay.
again.
Do one thing. I mean, you refer to your copy, but maybe it's good to watch that session again, and while you are watching, at that time you look at your copy. Okay, so that you'll get that running commentary along with your visually you're looking at a copy. Okay, maybe that will help you. You might have missed something here and there in that copy, or maybe some mistake might be there. I'm not saying it's there, but it might be, right? So it will help you if you maybe watch that same session. It's there, it's on YouTube, so you can watch it any number of times at whatever speed you want. And then, as I said, the same DFS algorithm is explained. It's a standard algorithm, so there cannot be any change.
Yes, I'm writing it in my copy also. But I'm confused every time.
So for that only I'm saying, there is nothing wrong in watching same session or same lecture or same video again. Okay, it's absolutely fine. Many people do that. Many times even we also do that. Okay. Please watch that. I believe you know which session I'm talking about. It's a solve with a session, week 9. Okay, it happened on last Monday, if I'm not wrong.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Okay. Any other doubt?
Okay.
Yes, Ankit.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Shilpa, go on.
How many questions will be there for the end term exam in the question?
I don't know. I don't know.
Any estimate? I mean, approximately.
No, I have totally no idea. Just we will. I mean, you will get 1.5 hours to write the paper, and it will be easily manageable within that time. That much I can tell you. I don't know about how many number of questions, but time wise, you will not be. You will not feel that it's a lengthy paper or something. It's manageable within 1.5 hours. That's all information I can give at this point.
Will it be same number of questions? What it will be like quiz 2 and quiz 1?
No, definitely it will be more, right? Because quiz 1, quiz 2, your time was 45 minutes. Now it's 1.5 hours.
So it will be equally more.
Maybe not. As I said, I can't comment on that no matter how many times you ask. I can't comment on number of questions, but this much I can tell you that it is managed. If you were able to manage quiz 1, quiz 2, you will be able to manage in term as well.
Sir, question number 6, can you please explain?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure. Okay, who's that?
Sir, I'm Tamal.
Okay, Tamal. I'll come to you, but there is somebody who have already raised your hand before. Yeah, so Shiva, go on.
In yesterday's assignment, right, week 11's assignment, question 6, question 6 or question 7, can you graded assignments?
Yeah, Shiva, do you know the week 11 is not
I know.
there?
I was the one who asked the question. Is it only for CT or is it for other subjects as well?
Okay. So I'll come to that. I mean, as I said,
sure.
10 and 11, maybe it's slightly less important, right?
Sure. I completely understand.
Yeah, sure. So let me start with this week 9 question which Tamal asked.
So 6.
Yes, Tamal.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have understood the question number 6. Two and chess players. Yeah, so I can understand.
Okay.
There is a 4 code in 4 option, but sir, in option 2, just a minute, let me see.
Okay, this is option 2.
Yeah, in option 1 and option 2. In option 1, it says return players, third line. And in option 3, it says return blank list.
Okay, correct.
Yeah, sir. Sir, can you please explain the third option, return list, return the blank? It is also correct it shows.
Okay. The reason is, look at this part. What is there on the right hand side of equal to? If the length is 0, then you are returning empty. I mean, when length will be 0? when there is no players to process in the list, right? That is why you're returning empty, right? And in this case, in other cases, I don't remember which one is correct. So let me look at this answer. Okay, in this case, right? In this case, your 2, the length is 2. That means what? You're left with last two players are there, right?
Yeah.
So there is nothing
Like
to match
middle one,
actually when
like
you have only 2. So you
middle-
can return that
middle-
entire list
yeah.
as it is.
Middle two, right, sir? Like 1 will pair with the last one, 2 will pair with the second last, 3 will
Correct.
pair with the
So
third.
definitely if length is 2, then definitely they 2 form a pair, right?
Yeah.
So you can better well return that same pair as it is, the same list as it is.
Okay.
So it just, you change the base condition little bit. Instead of waiting it to become 0, you return it at the very time when it became 2.
Okay.
Right.
So another question I have. So here it says that in the list, final list outcome, it will be arranged from like 1 to, like, the match number will be in ascending order.
Okay, match number will be in ascending order. I don't remember exact.
Sir,
the whole
please,
question is.
yeah.
I mean, I looked at it for in a fraction of a second. I was not able to read the whole thing.
Sir, please. Sir.
But yeah. So you're talking about this I mean, in either of these options, right?
Yes,
You're
sir.
talking about the final answer being in ascending or not, right?
That means in the outcome result, the matches will be arranged in the ascending order. So my question is, in this second line, it says if length of player equal to 2, means it will be given the middle player, right? Middle 2 players. But then it won't be the ascend. But then it won't be arranged in the ascending order, because we are making this last pair at the last, but they are not they are middle pair.
Okay. What is happening in that case? You return the 2 middle players, right?
Yes.
How this ascending is, I mean, when you say ascending, what is the meaning of ascending? In every, actually it's a what? It's a list of lists, right?
Right, sir.
So that every inner list has 2 elements, correct?
Right, sir.
And the first element of every inner list is an ascending order.
Right, sir.
With each other.
Right.
And when you compare every second element of inner list, then again it is in ascending
order, like match 1, match 2, match 3, like that.
Correct. So when we get to that middle of it, right?
Yes, sir.
That is when that will come at the end of the list.
Yes, sir. Right.
Correct.
Right. Sir.
So let me switch to this. I'll tell you how that list will look like. Is this notepad visible?
Not yet, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, hold on. Is it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, consider this is the case, right? I mean, let's consider maybe some hypothetical numbers. Okay, all us, maybe it's better to have. Okay, let it be like this. Okay.
So this is the total list of players, right?
Yeah, but as you said, originally we wanted them to know. Okay, original one is in ascending or not?
No, original was not. It was not mentioned actually. It says the 2n total number of players are 2n.
Then from where this ascending principle came from, and from where you thought that it is ascending?
So it says in one line. Just a minute. Let me read.
Okay, let me see.
It says it's according to ranking.
Okay, it is according to ranking. And we'll have to change this. 4, 5, 6, 10. Okay. So according to ranking, this is what I have as a input to that particular procedure.
Yes, sir.
Now, because of that, whatever logic which we were discussing, right? It's a list of lists, right? So because of first you get this one, because of last you get 10.
Yes, sir.
And this is the place where you call that rest of init or init of rest, whatever
right,
is there.
3 to 6, right?
So now your actual list becomes 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right, sir.
Now from this you will extract what? 3 and 6, right? So that becomes 3 and 6. Now This is only remaining.
Okay, right.
This is
I
middle,
got,
right?
sir. I got, sir.
Got it?
Right.
Now it is still in ascending. The first element of each list is ascending.
Right, sir.
Right? But the
Right.
second one won't be. Second one will be actually up. It will be in descending only. I mean, it will be, right? You can't do that otherwise. Otherwise, you'll have to perform pairs like this 1, 3, 4, 5, 10, 6, 10, right?
Right.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll move to next. Yes, Vidyan.
Sir, what is this recursive procedure call?
Okay. When did you join this session?
From starting.
You
I
sure?
was there from
You were
starting.
there from very first point, from minute 1?
Yes, sir.
I mean, last 1.5 hours, I'm explaining about what is recursion, and even after that, this is the question. I don't know how to answer that. The last 1.5 hours, we are talking only about recursion. When a procedure calls itself, it's called recursion.
Oh, sir, that going backwards is recursive procedure call.
We are not going backwards. There is no concept of backward and forward. Consider, let me take some small example from somewhere. Okay, the code is incomplete. Okay, practice this. I'll quickly do this and I'll jump to next. Okay, because this question at this point is not at all acceptable, to be honest.
Okay, sir.
Okay, in this case, this is a procedure. Procedure is called calculate, right? This is the procedure name, and in that procedure, we are again calling calculate. We are calling calculate inside the definition of that procedure itself. That is called recursion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you have still not understanding, please watch this lecture again from 0, 0.
Okay, sir.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Vidya, sorry, Divya.
Well, I just wanted to know when our mock quantum would be.
Sorry?
When would we be having a mock quantum?
Yeah, so mock for computational thinking is scheduled on Wednesday. Mock is on Wednesday, the 30th.
Okay.
So we have revision. So these details are already there in the calendar. 28th, Monday, we have revision from week 1 to 6. 29th, Tuesday, we have revision from week 7 onwards. Now it's 7 to 9. 30th, that's Wednesday, we have mock. And then 31st, that's Thursday, we have a concluding session, as in that will be the last live session for computational thinking from our side. So that's the plan for next week.
Wednesday we would be attempting the mock. Thursday we would be discussing the mock.
You will be attempting the mock on Wednesday. You can discuss that on Thursday.
Okay. So I hope the mock would be in the evening.
Mock will be?
In the evening?
Yes, mock. I am not sure about the time, but yeah, we will announce about that. Okay.
Sir, as requested in earlier other subjects also, that we get the announcement in such brief notice that some of us miss the timed mock, and then it's not just fun doing the untimed.
I am not sure about exact time. Otherwise, I would have told you. The thing is, even after that time, right? If you are because of some reason, if you are not able to do that mock during that time, the questions will be available even afterwards. So you can always go back and do that.
No, that's fine, sir. I know that, but then there is a challenge to be had when there is a timed mock. When it's not timed, then you have to be disciplined yourself. I mean,
I understand, but I think you guys are smart enough to do that. Now, at this point, I'm expecting that you should be able to do it. I'm trying to find time if I can. Like, if I get it, I'll let you know. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, it is 5. It is 5 to 5.
Yeah.
It is 5 to 6:30.
5 to 6. All right. Thank you.
On Wednesday, 5 to 6:30. But again, if guys, listen. Formally, you will get the final announcement. That's the information I have at this point of time. It is not yet announced, so it may not be final. It's a tentative time. I'm telling you. There might be variation, but that's the information I have at this point of time.
No problem.
Yeah, because the thing is, see, there won't be only our mock, right? We also have to manage that so that it will not coincide with any other subjects mock or any other subjects live session. So according to that, all those, considering those factors, there might be slight thing here and there, but right now the tentative time is 5 to 6:30 on Wednesday for computational thinking mock. Okay, Rivya?
Thank you.
Sir, I have one request actually. So
Yeah,
I
Tamal,
have some problem in 1/2 to week 8. So if it is possible to do another Gmeet session or Zoom session for that half, 1/2, 2/2.
We are going to do a revision session for all the weeks, right? So anyway, that will come in that.
No, for a week 8, we really have a lot
Yes,
of
sir.
doubts.
I also did some wrong in quiz 2. That's
So,
why my scores were
similarly, if we have like recursive, how you have done week 8, it will be really helpful.
Sure. Let me see what we can do about that. See,
Yes,
the
sir.
thing is, even if you look at the revision sessions I was talking about, right? Monday is for 1 to 6. So we are covering 6 weeks in one session, whereas week 7, 8, and 9, we have dedicated one session only for 3 weeks. Because week 7 is it's an introduction to graph. I don't think you will have many questions. And then the recursion we are discussing now from week 9. So mostly that actually session will be about week 8 only, if you see it that way, right? But apart from that, let me see. Only thing is, there is no time remaining to do more sessions. There are 4 days consecutively. We have something for city in coming week, Monday to Thursday. And we don't want to do anything 2 days before exam. That's the time where you should study on your own.
Yes, right.
And this weekend there are exams happening for other courses. That's why all instructors are busy in invigilation duty. So we all have invigilation duty in the Saturday, Sunday. So I don't think anyone will be available. I mean, what invigilation and all that will come to, you will come to know once you go to other courses. Some programming thing comes into picture. There is totally different kind of exams happen for programming courses. So those are happening on this weekend. So I think I mentioned this earlier also. Last weekend, yeah, Python, PDSA, machine learning, Java, many other courses are there, right? So those exams are happening. So we guys are involved in we are busy with that. So I cannot arrange the session on the weekend. So let me see. Your suggestion noted that you need a session for week 8. Let me see if I can.
Especially for hops and
Yes, sir.
hops.
My problem also.
Yeah.
Sir.
So as I said,
More
let
than
me
one
see.
half problem.
Yeah. So Tamal and Shilpa, I totally understand and noted it down. I will talk to the team where if is there a possibility to squeeze another session dedicated for that somewhere. If not, then I will ask the person who is going to do that revision for 7 to 9 to focus more on these points. Okay.
Right.
If extra session is not possible, we'll definitely do that much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Okay, who else? Yeah, Shubhangi?
Sir, may I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Go on.
Sir, weightage of an interim exam, the all weeks are equal.
It
Weightage
will be approximately equal.
approximate. Okay, sir.
Approximately equal. Beyond that, I can't tell you. I mean, I don't know what exactly it will be, right? It's 1 to 900 marks. That's how it is.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Shiva? Now I think we have done with this. Now, are you interested in studying, discussing that week 10 or 11 question what you had?
Yes. In week 11, graded assignment.
Okay. Somebody else
there
also
was-
had a question from week 11. Maybe this is time for you also. We raise your hand and I'll come to you. I forgot the name. I'm really sorry. Yeah, Shiva, go on.
So
Question number?
if you go down 5 or 6, I don't remember the exact question number.
Okay.
Scroll down.
This is 5.
That will be a function which this is the one. This one.
Okay.
So I know how 8 gets this. How 8 is set back. How can we calculate 12 and 16? How do we get 12 and 16? At what condition?
Tell you, I mean, I'll get even more information out of this. The question was 5, right? 5 or 6 something you said.
Yes.
Okay, so which one you are confused about?
Yes, so I was not sure how we got 12 or 16.
If you follow this sequence, you get 12. And if you follow this second sequence, you get 16.
Okay.
Okay, maybe now this is something you can take it offline.
I'll take it offline. I'll take it offline and I'll work it out.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Okay, so that's it from Shiva. Okay, anybody else have any doubt? Yes. Any doubt related to anything for that matter now? Okay, so earlier somebody was asking about week 11. I don't really remember the name. If you're still there, now it's a chance to ask that week 11 question what you had. All right, if nothing is there, then whoever has doubt, I think Nupur wanted to ask something earlier. Nupur, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, can you tell me what's your doubt?
Sir, it's not related to studies. So should I discuss here or will
I'm not understanding. If it's not related to studying, then what it is related to? Can you mention the topic? Then maybe I can tell you.
It's related to medicine.
Okay, I don't think I am equipped to comment on that. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I mean, I'm just an instructor. I honestly don't know how to react to that. Okay. I understand you are facing some issues. I heard about it. Let me get you in contact with a person who is equipped to handle those issues. The person name is Kothai. Okay, so is there any? Can you tell me some specific time where she can contact you? Somewhere tomorrow morning. She's a student counselor, so she works with students. Dealing with whatever issues they face outside curriculum. So can you tell me some specific time where I can ask her to contact you?
She can contact me anytime. She can contact
In the office hours. So now it's not possible. Tomorrow morning, can you suggest some preferable time and I will ask? Or if any time is fine, then maybe I will just suggest that. Tomorrow morning, post 9 a.m. in any time, preferable time?
30.
9:30?
10:30.
10:30. Okay, fine. So I'll ask her to call you on your number, the number which is with us. Okay.
All right.
Your registered number, she will call you at 10:30. Okay.
Okay.
And that's the point, and that's the best person with whom you can discuss the issues which are there. All right.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. One thing I just want to add here.
Yeah.
I really appreciate her that she's really open to discuss her problem, and I really clap her.
Yeah.
I also, sir. I also.
Yeah. So
Great.
So I mean, if for this, let me tell you for everyone. I mean, in case if anybody is facing any issue outside, I mean, these sessions are mainly for subject-related queries and so on. But we have student counselor, we have dedicated team working who will help you if there are some other issues. I mean, you might know that there is a team who works for placement, there is a team who works for scholarships and so on. So in the same lines, there is other a person or a couple of people who help student in dealing other things as well. So if something is there, you can write to support and tell them that this is the place or where to contact, and the concerned person will get back to you and will try to help as much as possible, whatever we can remotely or otherwise.
Is this sponsored by IIT Madras?
Yeah, it is from IIT Madras. It's just like every college or every institute has some student counselor or something related to that is some department is there, right? So it's equivalent of that.
Very good initiative. Haven't
Yeah,
I think it
provided
should
by
be in
IIT
the
Madras,
portal.
online degree.
I think it should be in the portal somewhere in the.
Yeah,
No, I
It
am
should
not
be
aware
added.
of that.
I'm not
Never
sure
read
that
about it.
where that information is or even it's there, but if not, then I mean the topic came up, so I thought it's better to
No,
say
it
it
is
on the
helpful,
record.
Mr. Joshi.
Yeah,
It's really
correct.
helpful.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so moving back to computational thinking, is there anything which I can help related to that?
Any quick tips for getting the conceptual clarity in detail so that the confidence, what you have, I just wanted to have that kind of confidence on CT, but I'm not getting that confidence from within.
You
So
will.
what kind of quick tips?
See, Ramakant, you will. Don't compare like this, okay?
Me too. Actually, everything in CT is going on with approximation only. Nothing for sure. There is no sure answer at all.
Yeah, yes, and see, as I mean, I've repeatedly said, I don't know whether I spoke to Ramakant that frequently, but you're a frequent person from for the live. I think Ramakant is also quite frequent. So the thing is, I have been keep saying this again and again, over and over, that it's all about practice, nothing else.
Sonbhadra.
See, you will reach to that level only after spending years and years on doing what you're doing now, and that it will keep happening. I mean, right now you saw some set of questions in CT. What is the natural progression? I mean, we are almost at the end of this course. What is the natural progression after computational thinking? Is Python, right? Programming in Python, the introduction to Python, the course which you have after this in semester 2. So in that course, you will see even more and more number of questions. You will not see the amount of questions what we have in that course anywhere else. We have given you enough number of questions within the portal for you to practice.
No, actually, what I feel because of not having any practical exposure, we don't have that much confidence in CT. If we would have executed the pseudo course from starting onwards in parallel while studying the theory, if you would have practiced these pseudo codes also in writing, in programming, then it will boost the confidence. I feel it's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So even we have written many codes. Even I have done embedded C, Sandhya. See, even after that also, first 7 weeks is complete for us.
Okay.
First 7 weeks. Now, OOPS is something which we know, which they extensively use in data structures, embedded C. I think you know, Mr. Joshi, about embedded C.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're audible. Yeah. The last part, I think, Miss. Yeah.
Yeah, extensively they use for embedded C. This OOPS and everything.
Yeah. OOPS is very common. I mean, it's used everywhere. Nowadays, everything is object oriented.
Yeah, so that is why. So even as we are experienced, also still we are not able to do some of them are just by sometimes we don't even know if it's correct or wrong.
I'll tell you. That's why I mentioned Python. I'll tell you the reason.
I felt when I did Python, when I experienced through online, when I went through online a website Python, when I was using C concept, because Python is somewhat similar. They use print, scanf everywhere in Python.
Yeah.
So when I'm using it, I felt it is just calling libraries. That's what Python is majorly. Isn't it?
It's not. See, I mean, it's like we're deviating from the, okay, but fine. Okay, so thing is, it's not like that. The thing is, Python is so popular, and because of that, there are so many libraries available out there. But
yeah,
to become a good programmer, it's a good practice to write code from something called as first principle. And
so what is
tell
the
you,
hierarchy that you would suggest? Because I had also done all these languages way back, and now I'm trying to restart. So I don't know what to pick up first.
It's
Which
in the same
language to
sequence.
start
See,
with?
you don't have to pick up. After this, you can pick only Python. There is no other thing. I mean, from
Yeah,
maths.
Python I am learning,
Yeah.
sir. Python I
Okay.
know a little bit. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So
that
CT is prerequisite to learn Python?
yes,
That
it
we
is a
can assume?
prerequisite to learn Python. Correct. So that's why I said it's a natural progression from computational thinking is Python. And once again, I will tell you, I mean, this first principle thing is I was talking about, right? So in Python, half of the lectures are recorded by a professor named Professor Sudarshan Iyengar. I don't know, you might know
Yeah,
him.
we met him in.
Met him.
Yeah, we met him.
So that the Python courses collaboratively done by him and me. That's why I'm telling you, he will say this word first principle at least 15-20 times during lectures. And we want to teach you how to code rather than how to use libraries.
If I fail in CT, can I take Python for the next term?
Sandhya, you should be optimized that you will pass. Okay, study
Sandhya,
hard,
you'll
pass.
get the best marks.
I want to know the both aspects. I want to know the positive and negative
So,
side. Both of the side I need to know.
So in that case, you can't, because it's a
I don't think so.
prerequisite.
You will fail, Sandhya.
Not
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
See, it's a prerequisite. You have to pass this course in order to enroll into the next. That's how that's the meaning of what prerequisite, right? You have to pass this. Marks doesn't matter. I mean, you can get any grade, but you should pass.
It's more about logical thinking, I feel. If you are able to think logically and, link math, stats together, then I think you can fare well in computational thinking. But I'm still scared.
Yeah,
Sir, today, like,
even I have
to
done the
this
same thing. Even after that, it's somewhere we go wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, actually, time only. I'm taking too much time to.
Same here, Sandhya.
Me too.
Because you have taken 4 subjects, Sandhya, that's right.
Yeah.
No. These pseudo codes in quiz 2 also, those are simpler pseudo codes at the end, but there was no time to complete the questions. They were very easy really in quiz 2, but I don't know, I'm taking each question 10 to 15 minutes to write down, to note it down and to get the solution.
Over a period of time, you'll not have any, you won't even write. Simply, you will just see and execute. That's all.
Exactly. Just by, a glance at the code is sometimes enough to know what is happening. Shilpa will tell you that with experience, that will come. I mean, with practice and experience, that will happen.
Sir, one example I would like to put here, like today in recursion class, before I was not having any clarity. Now, after taking this class, I was having complete clarity that I'm getting confidence within. So that kind of confidence, like the last 1 to 9 weeks, it is not coming. I don't know what exactly the reason is, although I have spending time, like, every time opening the graded assignment solution, but the next time when I open, I just forgot what concept it was. Then again, I need to redo.
Okay.
Same
Maybe
with
the
me with
best thing is, maybe you don't look at solution directly. Try to solve same question again as if you don't know the answer. And I mean, you of course may not even remember the options and all that. If it's a code, then definitely you can't remember which option was correct. So it's better to solve that question again as if solution is not there, as if it's a new graded assignment question, rather than studying from solution document. Try to solve it. Okay, this is a question. It came in the exam. I'm going to solve it. Once you solve, maybe mark the answer somewhere, keep a note of that, and maybe later on you compare your answers with the solution and check how many you got right, how many wrong, which one you got wrong, why. That you do later, but don't start from solution.
That part maybe I need to correct it.
Okay, so that you get more confidence that you can solve a question. Maybe if not first attempt, at least in second attempt you can. So that confidence will get built up with that approach. All right, anything else?
We only need good luck, sir, and your wishes. I mean, the session was really, really nice. I hope we are able to perform well.
Very nice session. I really feel very
And sir, thank you for your so much patient approach. Like you explain everything twice, thrice with so much
Yeah.
patience, sir.
And Sudarshan sir also takes class after 12 o'clock, 1 till 1 o'clock till 2 a.m. and night.
No, that is something he used to do. Now that's not happening. I mean, he's not that closely involved nowadays because of some other commitments he got. But yeah, you what you heard from your seniors is correct. You
No,
have
sir.
done
Actually,
that.
I had attended his class. Like,
Oh, you
that
attended. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. The introduction class was there. No, so I was there.
You
till
know
9.
how interesting
Yes,
his
yes.
teaching is,
And
right?
that day I did not take my breakfast, lunch, dinner, nothing I took because I was so obsessively hearing him.
Yeah.
Because your class is like that. That the stickiness is there in your class also. Like I skip my lunch, skip my dinner also.
Please
Everything
don't do
I
that.
just.
Okay, it's important, but please don't do that.
So actually, it is there. It's not to just to praise. It's genuine, genuineness.
Yeah, I
Genuineness is
understand, but again, once in a while it's fine, but don't make it a habit.
That's why I believe Omkar sir is not taking classes before the exam. Otherwise, Ramakant will starve in the exam.
So
Especially
that
your
means
week
now
10 was
I
really
should
good.
not come again to talk to you, so that Ramakan go ahead. Have your food.
No, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, I think even Sudarshan sir also. No, that time we took till 2 o'clock. I was
So what
surprised.
will you do? What will you do in Python? Because Python, all the lectures are recorded by either me or him.
Yes, sir, definitely. I
Forget about sessions. The original lectures
I,
itself are recorded by either him or me.
sir, I will really sacrifice. Yes. I think I will.